What's up guys, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and in today's video, it's going to be like another haul style video where I show off some of the fragrances that I bought during Priceline's clearance. So let's dig right in. First up is Hugo Boss Man Iced. Now I can just read you out the notes on the back here. A blend of iced ingredients for a confident boost of freshness. Top notes of iced mint, heart note, frozen wild tea, base notes, masculine vetiver. I'll show you the box again. So here's the bottle. It's got an interesting chrome sort of look to it. Makes it look sort of metallic, cold, fresh. And let's try the fragrance. Now I wore this one last night after I showered, and that's pretty much the ideal time to be wearing something like this. Citrus and mint. It's got it's actually got not like a gum mint note. It's actually a really realistic, true to life mint. It's very fresh, citrusy, and you get a touch of that dryness from the vetiver that's in here as well. It sort of smells like a lot of other fragrances, a lot of other men's fragrances you'll smell. It's not bad, it's got a real nice freshness, and I can imagine this being super wearable in the warmer weather, but because it's like winter here in Australia still, it's probably not the best time to be wearing this. But as far as like just showering and wanting to wear a fragrance that's like really clean, really fresh, you can do a lot worse than this one. What really sets this one apart for me is that realistic mint note. You don't see a lot of fragrances with a realistic mint note. Generally, mint in men's fragrances and perfumery comes across very false, very artificial, synthetic, and like spearmint chewing gum. This, on the other hand, I find to my nose that the mint is quite realistic. And I think I paid $25 for it. Let me just consult the old receipt. Yeah, I paid $25 for it. So at that price, I think it's a good buy. Generally, I'm not the biggest fan of fresh, iced fragrances. Youp Iced is really good because it's not really a fresh iced fragrance. But this one, on the other hand, as far as fresh iced fragrances go, you can do worse, like I said earlier. Next up is Boss Bottled Tonic. Interesting looking bottle. Classic sort of Boss Bottled branding here. So it looks like the Boss Bottle Intense, Bottled Night, things like that. Top notes: vibrant citrus fruit, apple. Apple is one of those notes that appears pretty frequently for Hugo Boss's fragrances. Heart notes: tonic, ginger, and cinnamon. Cinnamon is another one of those notes that feature in Hugo Boss's bottled line. Base notes of sensual woody notes. And here's the bottle. It's very fresh looking. I imagine that the Boss Iced liquid looks very similar to this. Let's have a spray. I think the atomizer for the other one is a little better though. Just with all the Boss bottled fragrances, or at least all the ones that I've smelt, I don't think Bottled Night has a cinnamon note. This one reminds me of a slightly fresher Boss Bottled Intense. Yeah, this one just smells fresher. It's got a nice ginger note as well. Gives it some brightness, some lift, and a touch of spice as well. I would say this is pretty close to Boss Bottled Intense, so if you've ever smelt that one, just imagine it as like 20% fresher, and you've got a really good idea as to what Bottled Tonic smells like. This one is woodier than Iced. You do get a lot of the dryness from the vetiver in iced, and this has sort of that cinnamon woodsy note as well. Just on my impressions right now, I would say I prefer bottled tonic more than iced, just because it's got a little more depth to it. But if you've ever smelled any of Hugo Boss's bottled line, this is going to be really familiar to you, and I don't know if I can exactly recommend it if you've already got like all of the other bottled line. It's literally just bottled intense but a little fresher. So if that appeals to you, maybe you should check it out. I paid $40 for it. So at that price, it's a good buy. I don't know if you'll be able to find it for that cheap, but if you're in Australia and you happen to live near a Priceline, perhaps go and check it out because you might be able to find some good deals. Yeah, this one's not bad. I like bottled intense. To me, this smells almost identical to it, except slightly fresher. On to the final fragrance for the night. Guess 1981, and I paid $21 for this bottle. Personally, I think this is the best looking bottle out of the bunch, although it's only 50 ml. It's got a really nice coloured liquid as well, sort of greyish purple. Very nice. Yeah, I'll just spray it here. This is a very interesting fragrance to cover. It sort of reminds me of Narciso Rodriguez's For Him, that sort of wet concrete smell, although not as prominent as that one. This has a touch of incense. I get a touch of violet, amber, and maybe a touch of leather as well. This is going to be a pretty versatile fragrance. It's not too dense, it's not too heavy. I wouldn't call it fresh, but it's also got a kind of lightness to it. Of the three fragrances I've looked at this evening, Guess 1981 is my favorite by far. There's not a lot of fragrances on the market that smell close to this. The only one that I can think of is Narciso Rodriguez's For Him, like I mentioned before. It's not identical to that, but I think it's similar. Narciso Rodriguez For Him has a real musk note as it dries down. This doesn't have that muskiness, but it does have a leatheriness, and for that reason, I think you can compare the two. But it does have that kind of slightly wet note to it. It's so weird to describe it that way, but it actually sort of reminds me of the smell of when it rains. Like you go step outside when there's a thunderstorm and it sort of smells like this. So I know there are a lot of people out there that really enjoy that smell, and if you're one of them, definitely give the men's Guess 1981 a try, because I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. This is an awesome fragrance. It's got a uniqueness that really appeals to me, and I smell so many fragrances that I can really pick up when something's familiar to me and when something isn't familiar to me. And aside from the comparison that I've already made, this one is very unique. Yeah, this one's top. This one's tops. Of the three that I've showcased today, this is the one to check out if you're after something different. Don't know if it's going to be too mass appealing, but I paid $21 for it, and just as a scent that I'd wear for myself, I'm happy. It's also, I was gonna say that it's got a metal cap, but I think it's actually plastic with a sort of like brushed aluminum finish. Sort of reminds me of a laptop. Anyway, those are the three fragrances that I recently bought from Priceline. Have you ever worn any of them before? If you have, let me know in the comments below. And until the next video, my name is Aussie Marcel, the most luscious locks on YouTube, and I'll catch you guys around.